Hey guys, this is Arun,
And this is Abby.
and welcome back to a brand new episode of Fill Your Pockets. Today's episode, August 23rd. It's a Monday, so let's start this week strong. Quick recap of last week's play. We didn't give any plays over the weekend, but last time we gave plays, it was Friday, and we went 2-0 for the day. We had a parlay bet on Friday. We had the Yankees and the Braves for our parlay. The Braves ended up beating the Orioles, and the Yankees ended up beating the Twins. So our parlay hit. That was the one play. Now the second play, we had a straight bet. We had the Rockies first 5 innings. They ended up uh, hitting that bet against the Diamondbacks, and we went 2-0 for Friday. Ended the week pretty strong, if you ask me. I know we got in a little skid in the week throughout the week last week, but we finished the week strong. We're here on a Monday. We're feeling good on this Monday. We got the momentum from Friday carrying over today, and we're ready to give you guys some plays today. But before we do that, Abhishek, do you quickly want to recap these games that on Friday? We had two plays Friday.
Yes, sir. Arun summed it up perfectly. But let's to add on Braves Orioles. Obviously, the Orioles just can't get a win. They haven't won on the. They didn't win Saturday either. They didn't win Sunday either. Max Fried, who was the pitcher for the Braves that day, he pitched the whole inning. I mean, the whole game, 9 innings. He didn't come out. He dominated, shutout, win. That's the most innings he's pitched in his career in one game. It just shows you how great the Braves have been playing, and it shows you how bad the Orioles have been playing. 3-0. The game was never in doubt. And then Twins Yankees 10-2 was a score of the Yankees, man. What can you say? In baseball, there's one thing you can say. At sometimes just forget the numbers and just ride the streak, ride the team that's hot, because right now the Yankees, this game was never even a question. Yankees came out firing. They scored 4 runs in the first inning, responded again in the second inning, scored two, then one in the fourth, 7-0 right there. The game was over. Yankees, Yankees, Braves, LA. I've been saying this. Everyone can go look this up, obviously. But those three are the hottest teams in baseball, and they're all. And two of those teams, no, all three of those teams are competing for division titles. So they understand how significant it is to actually win the division, because in baseball, if you play the wild card game, you basically played 160 plus games, and one game decides your fate. If you lose, great, you made the playoffs, quote unquote. You have to play one game, you lost, now you're going home. We'll see you in April. That's not what any of these teams, especially teams, big market teams like these three, want to have to go through. And then we went to the second play, which was the Colorado Rockies. Obviously, we played them in the first 5 innings because, listen, man, the Rockies ended up winning this game in the whole game, but I don't trust their bullpen, their relief pitching. I just don't. Obviously, they were able to manage this game as they won the first 5 innings and they won the game. So either way, you would have been good. But I would rather be safe with the pitcher I know is going to pitch pretty damn solid for them, which he did. 3 runs, not great, but he did his job. The Rockies are one of the I would probably say the Rockies are the best home team in baseball. And that's pretty crazy to say because of their record, but the numbers are and the facts are what they are. They are just a different team at home. And if they were anywhere decent on the road, then they'd be in the playoffs, but they're not. Their season likely will finish with them missing the playoffs. But for our sake, Yankees first. I mean, not Yankees. Rockies first five, no problem. Parlay, to be honest, no problem. Great ending to a bad week, I would say. Monday was good. Friday was good. In between was bad. So overall, I would still consider that a bad week. And that's why we're here today, so we can fix our errors.
All right, so let's start this episode. We're 20-17 for the season, but moving on. First game of the night. We have three plays for today. Three games that we'll be going over in today's episode. Not three plays, three games. The first game, 7:20 Eastern Time game. We have the Yankees taking on the Braves, two of the hottest teams in the league right now. Both teams are on a nice 9-game win streak. Abhishek, first game of the day. The New York Yankees, the line has moved as well. They opened up as plus 135 favorites. That line is now moved to plus 100. on DraftKings, and Atlanta is sitting at minus 120. Abhishek, the first game, Yankees taking on the Braves. Who you got, man?
Like Arun said, these two teams are the hottest teams in baseball. They each have a 9-game winning streak. The Dodgers just lost their winning streak, but they're still obviously the Dodgers. No shame there. They lost a game yesterday. But this is the matchup of the day. It's probably one of the biggest games so far of this year. I'll be honest, this slate today, I am not a fan of. We're looking for something here out of all the games being played today. But you got to find the diamond in a rough sometimes. But so far, I think this game obviously is the marquee game if you want to watch one or even win or even bet on it. But for this specific subject today, obviously, we're going Yankees, Braves in Atlanta. Like everyone mentioned, the line was plus 140, 135 for the Yankees. I guess people saw that and like, why is it so much? You're getting such great value on a team that's so high right now. So I think that's why the market has done what it's done, and the people have placed so much money on the Yankees, including it's going to most likely us. I can say that right now because that's what we're going to be leaning towards in this matchup because we got Jordan Montgomery for the Yankees. He's pitching. He had COVID, so he missed a couple. He missed like I think 10+ days. So, but he came back and pitched against Boston. Not his best start. 4-5. He went 4 2/3, 3 runs allowed. That's basically what Jordan Montgomery is. He will give you 5 innings, maybe 6, and you're gonna likely give up 3 runs, 2 runs on average. Which for the Yankees right now is not that bad because they got a day off yesterday because of the weather delay. So they got a lot of guys rested, especially in their bullpen. So if Jordan Montgomery does get into trouble, they can easily pull him and then put them in, and they should be good to go, in my opinion. And now we get into the Atlanta Braves. I will say this, though. The Braves, yes, they've won 9 straight. But when you look at their winning streak compared to the Yankees' winning streak, they are on two polar opposites of the spectrum, in my opinion. The Atlanta Braves, they swept Washington. That means nothing. Then they swept Miami. That means even far less nothing. And then they swept the Orioles, which is the bottom of the bottom that you can go. So, yes, congrats to them because in baseball, winning games is hard enough. It doesn't matter who you play. You can lose any time to any team just because of who's pitching for you. But they took care of business, and they won all 9 of those games on the road. So I'm not taking that away from them. But then if you compare that to the Yankees' winning streak, they finished off the series against the White Sox in Chicago. Impressive. They went home, and they swept the team that was ahead of them in the playoffs in Boston. And then they played a Minnesota team that had been playing much better recently, and it didn't even look like a contest. They wiped the floor with them. So right now, two teams, hot as fuck, obviously, both of them. But if you're looking at value and you're looking at pitching matchup for the Braves, I don't want to say his name wrong. Yones, he's pitching today. He was pitching phenomenal early in the season. I think he fractured his hand or something. So he was gone for a minute. He's been gone for at least 3 months. He came back against Miami on the 17th of August, and he pitched 5 innings, shutout. But, bro, you do that against Miami. If you're going to have your first start against any team, Miami, Baltimore, Texas, yeah, this is the way you want to go. So they pitched him in at the perfect time. I don't think he's gone up against the Yankees once, and he got beat up a little bit. 1 inning, 2 runs. That was last year. Obviously, it's a short, small sample, but still it's worth something, in my opinion. I think his main pitches are he throws 2 pitches, fastball and a slider. And if he keeps pitching the fastball today, the Yankees are one of the best teams at hitting the fastball. And I think that will be the advantage Yankees. Their winning streak is more impressive. I feel the Yankees have been more dominant than the Braves. Plus money, I think the Yankees are the way to go here.
All right. Moving on to the second game of the night. We have the Royals taking on the Astros, 8 o'clock game. Right now, the Royals are leading the season series against the Astros, 3-1. The line for the Astros has moved. It opened up at minus 280. Now it's all the way at minus 235 on DraftKings. Kansas City plus 190 odds. Abhishek, both teams are pretty good, pretty decent. Royals 6-4 last 10. Astros 5-5 in the last 10. Who you got for this game? The second game, Royals taking on the Astros.
Okay, so the Royals and Astros, they played a series over the weekend, and the Royals took three, not over the weekend, last week. They took 3 out of 4 from them, which was highly impressive because obviously the Houston Astros are one of the teams favored to win the whole damn thing. But when you look at this game, this shit's way too much of a favorite for the Houston Astros. Like I said, I don't like today's slate at all, to be honest. Finding 1 or 2 games is hard enough in my opinion. This is a game where they're just favored by too much, in my opinion. The Astros, like Arun mentioned, it was minus 280 at one point. I think a lot of people saw that and they were like, okay, everyone's zigging, we're gonna zag because that was way too expensive, especially after seeing these two teams play just a couple days ago. So we get into the matchup here. Obviously, Arun mentioned 6-4 is the Royals in their last 10. They just swept the Cubs. That is not impressive, obviously, but they did take 3 out of 4 from Houston. So they're 6-1 their last 7. Houston, hey, for a minute there, they were riding high. They were dominating. They were dogging Seattle 12-3, 15-1. Like they did some fun. Like they were just scoring and scoring. And then yesterday happened. Obviously, you can't sustain that type of scoring. But yesterday in overtime, they lost extra innings. I just don't trust their pitching, man. I just don't trust it. No matter how many additions they make, it always seems like when they're supposed to close the game, they can't. So if you look at today's pitching matchup, we have Daniel Lynch for the Royals. Look out, because this man, over his past 5 starts, actually 6 starts. No, 5 starts. He has in his last 7 starts. The first 2 starts were in May, and then he got hurt. He missed over 2 months, and he must have fixed something or figured out something, because in his last 5 starts, the worst start he's given up was 3 runs in 6 innings. His last start against Houston, he went 7 innings, gave up 1 run. He went to Chicago, 5 innings, gave up 1 run. He went up against the Yankees and did his job there. So I think Daniel Lynch, lefty, obviously Houston Astros are really good against left-handed pitching. But regardless, Daniel Lynch proved himself just a couple days ago. Then we get to Zach Greinke here, 37 years old and still flying. Obviously, he pitched against the Royals also last week. He was pretty good. Gave up 1 run, 6 innings. So it wasn't his fault, obviously, about what happened. But if you're looking at value, you're not picking the money line for the Houston Astros. You're not doing that, obviously. You may take the run line. I don't know, everyone, if you know the run line for the Kansas City Royals, plus 1.5, what that is.
Plus 1.5. It is for the Royals minus 125. No, for the Royals, it's
Yeah.
plus 105.
See,
One
so
and a
you
half.
could even probably take that up to 2.5 if you really wanted to. And if you want to do an alternate spread, make it 2.5. That'll be probably minus 170 maybe, or
Hmm.
minus 150. And if it's anything under 170, then there's tremendous value there if you get 2 runs there. But if we're looking at this game, obviously on paper you see Houston, you see Kansas City, you see a mismatch here. But man, they're just too big of a favorite, the Houston Astros. And I understand the Cubs. The Cubs lose. The Royals beating the Cubs is nothing impressive at all. You still got to go on the road. Still got to win those games. They did, and it was never even close. And they did take 3 out of 4 from Houston. So if you're banking on that, then you can see a scenario where the Kansas City Royals actually just pull off the complete upset and win this game. Houston yesterday, their relievers once again. Starting pitching was great. Bullpen came in. They gave it up. A lot of pitches. The other 2 days, they were not taxed because of the blowouts. But still, with that said, and also the biggest stat of all is the Houston Astros just don't like playing against teams that suck. They just don't. For some reason, when they play teams that suck, they don't show up as much. I don't get it. You're supposed to win these games. You haven't done anything this season yet. Like you're not the Dodgers. You're not the Giants. You don't have 80 wins. Yeah, you have 70. You have 73 wins, but the Oakland Athletics are still there. Obviously, you're still the division champions right now, but you can easily lose this if you keep slacking around like they are. But against losing teams for some reason, they just seem to play to the level of the competition. And with that being said, if we were to give our opinions on this game, the Royals are the way to go.
All right, so moving on to the third game of the night, we got the Mariners taking on the A's. It's a 9:40 Eastern Time game. Right now, the Mariners are leading the season series 6-4. The Mariners are also 7-3 in their last 10. The A's are 3-7 in their last 10. Right now, the odds are looking like the Oakland A's are the favorites, minus 135, and Seattle will be the underdogs for tonight's game, plus 115. Abhishek, the last game that we'll be going over, the Mariners taking on the A's. Who you got, man?
We about to make Wendy's got 4 for 4. We about to make this 3 for 3 with all upsets. Listen,
Hmm.
man, well, I hate today. I just hate today. But this is what it is. We deal with it. We deal with the schedule we got. Whoever made Monday's schedule, August 23rd, I don't know what they were thinking. It's probably a bad day for them, whoever made the schedule. But we got Seattle Mariners, obviously, Oakland A's. Both these two teams are fighting for that wild card spot. Same division, but they're both in the race. Seattle is 3 games behind Oakland. So this series could be a very important deciding factor. Obviously, Seattle, they just played the Houston Astros. They lost 2 of the 3 games, but they won the game yesterday. The Oakland A's, they've been slumping. They won they're what? I think they're 3-7 in the last 10. And the Seattle Mariners are 7-3. So the complete opposite, polar end of the spectrum. But to be honest, Seattle, the teams they played haven't been impressive. They lost to Houston, the good team. They beat down on the Texas Rangers. That's not impressive at all. I guess you can say beating Toronto is impressive, but Toronto right now is just falling. So how impressive really was that? We don't know. We'll find out. Oakland played the Giants. No shame in losing to the Giants. They went to the White Sox. They got dogged in Chicago, and then they lost 2 out of 3 from the Rangers. So Oakland right now, they were on that 8-game winning streak, and now that shit has fallen off the map. They have not been playing well recently. They haven't been scoring that much either. So we get into the matchup today, pitching wise. We got lefty Marco Gonzalez against righty Paul Blackburn. This is his second start of the season. He he is used very rarely as a starter for Oakland. He pitched against Chicago, 5 innings, 5 and 1/3 innings, 3 runs allowed. Not bad, I guess, because you wouldn't expect anything from him, really, to be honest. You're just expecting him to do his job. Came in 5 innings, 3 runs. Chicago, they lost that game. But overall, that was his first start of the season. For his numbers are not impressive at all. We get into Marco Gonzalez. This dude has had a resurgence since the All-Star break. His last 7 starts, all quality starts. He hasn't given up more than 3 runs in any of those starts, and he has a 1.8 ERA in his last 7, giving up less than 2 runs per start. His last 4 games, I understand it's kind of hard to judge this because 3 of the last 4 games teams he's pitched against, have been the Rangers. The Rangers suck. He's dominated them. In his last 4 starts, he hasn't given up more than 1 run. He went to New York and the Yankees, almost 7 innings, shutout. So I guess you can hold on to that. He did go up against one of the big teams right now, hottest teams right now, went to New York and blanketed them. So the Yankees are way better than the Oakland A's offensively. So with that being said, I think the pitching advantage clearly goes to Seattle. Marco Gonzalez, he is capable of pitching 6 innings, 7 innings, 8 innings if he's needed to. Oakland, they've come out of a tough series against the Giants. Obviously, Arun mentioned minus. I think the line is plus. What is it again, Arun? Seattle plus what?
I think it was one sec. They just refreshed. Plus 115 now.
115. So yeah, another plus 115. Um, I think if you're picking this game, I don't know how you can pick Oakland. This could be a situation where you also could do first 5 innings also with Marco Gonzalez, but I think you don't need to do that because the Seattle Mariners have a pretty solid bullpen, so you shouldn't be scared of the lead vanishing away. The only thing is neither of these two teams can score that much, to be honest. Neither team scores a lot, especially Seattle. They struggle to score. But pitching-wise, situation-wise, recent play-wise, you got to go with Seattle, and that makes it 3 for 3. Today's slate is crazy. It's pretty hollow, to be honest. There's not that many games. There's not that many enticing matchups. There's not that much key mismatch. mismatches, but these are three games, and we think all three will be upsets today.
All right, guys, that wraps it up for today's episode. We have three games that we'll be going over in this episode, but make sure you tune into the Instagram page for the final pick. Um, and with that being said, it's a Monday. Hope you guys make some good bets today, some smart bets. With that being said, happy gambling and have a good Monday. Peace out.